Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. Today's the 10th of February 2017, and wish the weather would pick a season. I don't know how it is for you guys where you're at, but around here it's been spring, winter, spring, winter, spring, winter, back and forth pretty much every 2-3 days. We had it was a massive snowstorm for the amount of snow and the time it fell. We got like 5-6 inches of snow over the course of about 3 or 4 hours on Wednesday night into Thursday morning. That caused quite a bit of concern when it came to actually getting myself from one place to another on the job run that I do. And then it stopped snowing, and that was the end of it. And then it's supposed to get really warm this weekend, and then it's supposed to snow again, and then it's going to get warm, and then it's going to snow again, and it's... Be that as it may, we have a show to do. So first up, we got some new kit announcements, and these are reissues. They're not new kits, but some new announcements from Hasegawa for the month of April. And the month of April already has that Honda Ferio four-door Civic coming out that a lot of people are looking forward to because that is one of those stupid price kits on eBay. They will be adding to it with their Mitsubishi Evo 5 rally car. This represents the 1998 World Rally Championship car. They're going to reissue the Porsche 962C, yes, another one, with the From A livery package. That is a fairly, I don't know if it's famous, but a fairly recognizable livery package. If you go Google image search, just put Porsche From A. This particular car is going to be for the Japanese Prototype Touring Championship Series that was done in Japan. But I believe they also ran, at least in Le Mans, if not also in the sort of supercar series they ran in Europe. They ran 956s, and then they ran 962Cs. But it's another reissue of that 962C kit with a different set of liveries. I thought they had reissued them all. Apparently they had not. And last but not least, something that's a little more interesting in the terms if you want to get an oddball kit, and that is the Mitsubishi Galant VR4. Now, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, last week's show, by the way, if you didn't notice, we did do a show last week. They had all the Nuremberg Toy Fair stuff in it. I forgot, with sick kids, because that was my week too, having sick, at least one of my kids being sick with a fever and stuff, I did not post that onto Facebook and all the groups, my group and all the other groups I normally share with on Facebook. It only went up on the Google Plus stuff and up on our Twitter page. So you may not have seen it. It didn't get a lot of views compared to the normal videos. So if you did not see that, click back video and go watch that. But in that video from last week, we had talked about the fact that the rally version of this car had come out. And in the past couple of weeks, we had talked about whether or not we would see the civilian version of it come back out. Because I've done some digging around, and as far as I can tell, the 1991 Mitsubishi Galant VR4 civilian car, which was one of the first contemporary cars that was not like a historic vehicle that Hasegawa did. Literally, it's like the contemporary disc 24001 kit. It's the first one that they did back then. It's a basic kit. It's not, nothing to like, oh, wow, it's it's a full detail, no, it's pretty much curbside. If you have any early Hasegawa kits, you know how those curbsides were. Very, very basic, but, from the outside overall, looks like, did a good job of representing the vehicle. And this kit has not been reissued that I can find since it came out. The rally car has had a number of reissues, I think 5, not counting the one that just happened. But the civilian street car has not had any, again, that I can find. So, if that's one of those things that sort of trips your trigger, I mean, we got the Galant here in the United States in that format. However, I'd have to go dig my kit out of the bottom of my Mitsubishi pile, which isn't going to happen right this instant. But I believe, if I remember correctly from looking at it, it doesn't have left-hand drive. It's only a JDM car, but it's still just an oddball car because the one other Mitsubishi that exists of this sort of this generation, this genre, is the Mitsubishi Legnum, which is the station wagon version of the Galant, which again is only a JDM car because that really never got imported at all. That Aoshima did. So if you have them both, you sort of have the family of them, so to speak. The Legnum, I think, has had at least 5 boxings. all together because there was an S parts version of it, as well as several different just factory stock versions of it, the way Aoshima, did things. Again, it's a 1990s kit, curbside, and all the rest of that stuff. But if you're interested in sort of different Mitsubishis, not an Evo, not one of the delicious space wagons and star wagons, something to look into. Now, on the release side of things, we have a few kits on the domestic and a few kits on the international, and then a few wheel sets from Aoshima as well. Now, here on the domestic side of things, we got the last 2 kits of round 2 from January and one of the first kits from the February. So on the January side of things, both these being AMT kits, you have the 1/32nd scale 1965 Mustang, part of this new scale stars. I think it was called like this, the All-Star or something like that back in the 1960s when these kits came out. It's a very basic, kit. There's chrome in it and stuff like that. A lot of these 1/32nd scale kits weren't chrome back in the day. I believe these always were, but at least this version is, if not. What else can you say about it? I know there's several people that I've seen on forums that are very, very excited about this entire series coming back out. And so far, they've got 3 of what I believe are 7 kits. So probably over time, you will see them all reissued at one point or another. The other January kit is this, the 1960 Ford Starliner, what they're calling Hardtop Customizing Kit. 2-in-1, stock and custom. All right. So this kit has gotten a little bit of hate as far as the forums go, just because Round 2 reissued the stock-only version 4 years ago, 5 years ago now. I'd have to go look at the copyright on the box, but I have one of those because I never picked the Starliner up originally back in the 1990s when the kit was released. Why you would want to buy this particular kit is, first of all, this kit has been packaged as a 2-in-1 one time back in the late 1990s, prior to the fiasco that was Racing Champions buying out AMT Ertl. The kit was issued in a factory stock version, and then it was issued in a custom version. And we'll talk about that, why that has air quotes in a second. It was issued as a custom version right thereafter, and then the kit was issued in a 2-in-1 where you got all of the parts in one box, and then the Racing Champions era, the RC2 era, it was reissued as a factory stock car and as a custom car, but not together. And then Round 2, bought the molds and all that stuff, and they reissued the stock version only. So now, what is this 2-in-1? All right, well, it's not a 2-in-1 to me. It's, first of all, you have to understand that the custom parts of this are not a custom kit in the terms of a 1960s era custom AMT kit where you would have a wild front end and a wild back end and a tube of putty and some instructions and have at it. The custom parts in this are a set of Firestone wide ovals, a set of torque thrust mag wheels, a NASCAR style shifters. Best way I can describe it for you to visually get what I'm talking about without seeing a picture of it. You also get lake pipes, and they're fake lake pipes, and a set of traction bars for the rear suspension. That is the custom parts, not a custom interior bit to be seen. There are no excuse me. There are no custom body parts, there's not skirts for the rear fender or anything like that. You also get 2 entire engines. There are 2 FE390 engines in this kit, and the differences between the 2 of them are induction. One has 2 4-barrels, the other has 3 2-barrels, but you do get 2 entire whole engines. So if nothing else, buying this kit, if you don't have a plethora of Starliners laying around, you get a 1997, I believe, tooled AMT Ertl kit. It's a really nice kit, sort of the end of the era. It's why I like to say that Mobius is not so much a separate company as it is the continuation of where AMT Ertl was at the time, mainly because all the people that were involved at AMT Ertl at the time are now consultants to Mobius, especially in terms of kit design. And you get a whole engine and a whole other set of wheels, because you get the factory stock wheels and a set of pad printed white walls in here as well. So you get a set of tires, a set of wheels, and a whole engine. And it doesn't cost any more than any other kit does. So they didn't jack the price up or anything like that in terms of what they're charging you. I don't know. Like I said, if you don't have a Starliner, it's a cool kit in the first place. I like the car. You know me, I buy a lot of hypercars, supercars, exotic cars, import cars, things like that. I think the 60 Ford Starliner looks good. So I saw somebody on the forum the other day say something about how the 59 Impala always should have looked. But you get, there's enough bonus content in this, especially if you don't have one, I think, to pick it up. And then last but not least, from round 2, is one of the first February kits, this from MPC, and this is the Don Garlits Rear Engine Dragster Swamp Rat 1R. Often said to be the first rear engine dragster, which it is not. It is the first successful rear engine dragster. In this kit, being a straight reissue of an old MPC kit from back in the 1960s, I actually found one while I was looking for the box art for that. Found one of the original MPC General Mills box art. So it's pretty much lifted directly from it in terms of, the box art. It's a dead ringer for the original one. You get, this is going to be molded in black. You get pad printed Goodyear slicks, brand new decals, a cardboard display case. But beyond that, it's what you've always had, from that kit. So that is what is going on in the domestic side of things. We still have, some stuff that will be coming out here in the last half of the month. And then going overseas into Japan, we've had, like I said, 2 kit reissues and some wheels. So we'll cover the wheels real quick. These are Aoshima 20-inch VIP style wheels. We talked about it before. Aoshima issues their wheels in sets of 4. Now, they are sold separately, but they're packaged into groups of 4. That's why they're always in 4s. And they are the Club Linea L612s, the SSR Professor VF3s. Or maybe it's just VFs. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a 3 or not. And you got your Work Schwert SE4s and your regular run-of-the-mill BBS LMs. So again, all 20-inch wheels, all designed for your large Toyota, Nissan, full-size cars for your VIP needs and accessories. These wheels were just reissued not that long ago, but these are being packaged into that whole new tuned parts series. And the 2 kits that were reissued are from Hasegawa. These are from November, so a little bit behind the times here. These are limited edition runs of some kits that were limited edition runs, I think 3.5, 4 years ago. These kits came out right before we started doing the show. I have this, which is the Mitsubishi Lancer GSR Evo 4. It's a better Evo 4 than the Fujimi kit by a country mile. As I said, I have this one mainly because I didn't buy this kit when it was reissued the last time, because at the time I had not developed an Evo collection. I had one Evo 10, which was the Aoshima Rally Art, because that has the left-hand drive components in it. And I really didn't have anything else. And then I picked up an Evo 9 off of a friend. And then Fujimi, what would be a year and a half, 2 years ago now, did their Summer of Evos, where they reissued all of their just factory stock Evo kits. The 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, and the 9. So I started looking at what were the best options, because the Fujimi kits are very, not so much generic, although there is that whole thing, but they're not the best kits in the first place, especially the interior, as is the case with a lot of Fujimi kits. If you buy an Evo 3, you'll notice you get all the parts to build like an Evo 7 and Evo 9, as far as like the hood vents and things like that. They're sort of like a giant pile of parts, and you got to pay attention to the instructions, because you get a lot of extra doodads. A lot of those kits come with like 3 steering wheels and stuff like that, because they're just all the parts. All the parts belong to you in those kits. So I have a Fujimi Evo 3, and then I bought the Fujimi Evo 5. I have a Tamiya Evo 6, because even with the metal axles, that's a better kit than the Fujimi one. And then I have a Fujimi 7. I have several Fujimi 7s. A couple of Fujimi 8s. I think I have 2 Fujimi 9s, and then I have let's see, 1, 2, 3. I have 4 Evo 10s from Aoshima at this point. So when I was looking for an Evo 4, it was Fujimi or Hasegawa. The Hasegawa kit gets better reviews, seems to be a better kit in general, and I managed to find one languishing on the shelves at one of our local hobby shops. I ended up paying probably at least a time and a half more than it would actually have cost me to buy it, but these limited edition kits tend to sell, especially the Evo, because the Evo is, like I said, so much better a kit than the Fujimi one. Also, this week, of the 3, there's going to be one more kit that will come out, I assume, sometime this month, because it does show a February restock. Of course, they've also shown November restock, December restock, January restock, and now we're in February. Is this the Toyota Celica GT4RC? This is the rally homogenization version of the, 6th gen, or the 5th gen, I should say, Celica. It is a curbside kit. Tamiya does make a regular sort of factory stock version of this kit, a non-rally homogenized version, and that kit does come with an engine. A lot of people don't realize that. So if you want to just build this generation of Celica, you're going to have to go buy an out-of-production kit, go track one down. They're not really that expensive, but you do have to go track one down. They're not just laying around. But if you want to build the rally spec version, which being a curbside is not quite as, I guess, important or noticeable as it would be when you compare the 6th gen Celicas that Tamiya did, that they did a GT4 rally homogenization and a regular one. It's still just a cool kit as far as I'm concerned, and it was enough to make me go pick that one up this go around. So that, guys, is all there is for this week. Expect much heavier traffic in the next couple weeks as we run out February. A lot of this stuff is just sort of trickling in now because, of course, Chinese New Year was going on. Where even if the guys aren't having their kits manufactured in China, a lot of people are still getting their boxes made in China because, for whatever reason, 4-color printing boxes is sort of China's thing. Don't know when that happened, but it's sort of the case. So a lot of the stuff, is sort of waiting on boxes and waiting on decals and waiting on this and that and the other thing. So a whole bunch of stuff from Aoshima hasn't even been scratched the surface, let alone the the newer stuff like the Brian James trailer and the 2016 86s. I'm still waiting on Hasegawa stuff. Still waiting on to see whether or not that Platts new BMW M6 GT3 will come out. And, of course, the domestic stuff from Round 2 and Ravello as well. So, anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys on the other side.